like there this evening.
It has been a wet and wild day and evening here in Manitou Springs. The rain has let up, but Fountain Creek behind me is still roaring tonight. However, levels are looking pretty good for this time right now after we had that heavy downpour earlier. We also saw crews. You can kind of see them over there. They are checking out the levels right now, keeping an eye on this because all eyes are on Fountain Creek this evening. We saw some spots where the water was actually getting pretty close to the banks. Now, here in this main part of town, it is not, though. It's still pretty low, but we did see some flooding all along Fountain Creek. We want to show you some incredible video of basically a river of hail along Cimarron near I-25. That happened earlier. The rain and hail was so bad that we had to pull over in our truck on the side of the road because we had zero visibility. That was around 7:45 tonight. Cimarron had flooding all the way down, headed towards the mountains on both sides of the road, going east and westbound. And then, even worse, to the north of Cimarron, cars were braving the floodwaters on Colorado Avenue. At some points, the water was up to the wheelbells of cars. This is on Colorado Ave and Ridge Road. We saw water on several roads in this area as well, especially along Fountain Creek. Now, Fountain Creek itself rose again after this strong storm this afternoon and evening. Law enforcement and fire trucks have been lining the streets of Manitou Springs, and some roads are closed because of that threat of flooding. People caught in the storm say it came on strong and fast, and they're ready for a break from the flash flood sirens and these sudden downpours.
That was quick, real windy, real hard rain, a lot of hail. It's kind of getting to be too much Manitou can handle.
Now, Manitou is basically cut off tonight because of the rain and the flood threats. The Red Cross did open up their evacuation shelter at Congregation Church. They always do that when they have these flash flood warnings in case somebody does live in a dangerous area and needs to go stay there, or maybe they simply get stuck here in Manitou and can't get to their homes because of all of these road closures. Again, though, Fountain Creek, we are watching the crews check out the creek levels as we speak right now. In this area of Manitou Springs, it is looking okay. Of course, further down, as we're going to see in a minute, the water was a bit higher. Live in Manitou Springs, Maddie Garrett, News 5 investigates.
Maddie, thanks. Let's talk about that. At the height of the flash flooding tonight, we saw cars stalled, stranded at many low-lying intersections, including 19th and Uinta on the Springs west side. Let's continue our coverage now with News 5's Matt Pritchard. Reporting a very busy night for local firefighters. Matt, everybody able to get out okay?
Well, Rob, we have good news on that front. We're happy to report that the answer to that question is yes. About 3 to 4 feet of water filling up that street and stopping cars in their tracks. Now, here's some video that we want to show you from earlier. Just getting started. As you can see, a woman being helped from her car as the waters began to trickle into her vehicle. But she wasn't alone. We spoke with 2 young men who were quickly rushed out of their car and had to push it out of the knee-deep water shortly after getting out.
We were scared that the water was going to get in the car, and my mom told us to get out, and we didn't want to get out because we thought it was going to be really cold, and it was. But we have to push the car out of the water and then push it again.
So obviously right there, they were not the only ones. Plenty of people out there tonight trying to push those cars out of that 3 to 4 foot water. But there were fire crews on scene as well. What they told me was this is a perfect example of the turnaround, don't drown motto. Now, obviously, if you come to water on a street, folks, turn around, don't go in it because you just don't know how deep it might be. We're going to be continuing to cover this story, obviously, throughout the week and throughout the night here on KOAA 5. In Colorado Springs, Matt Pritchard, News 5 investigates.
Matt, thanks. On the eastern side of Colorado Springs, people just plowed through standing water on the roadway. This is Mark Shuffle Drive after the first round of heavy rain this afternoon. Police reminding drivers, if you see water on that roadway, we can't emphasize it enough. Don't try to cross those flooded roads because you could get stuck and your life could be threatened.
We showed you the raging floodwaters earlier from Douglas Creek, but look at this front end loader. A crew was working in the Holland Park area right when the flash flooding hit. In minutes, the cab was buried up to the windows in the rushing water. When it receded, you could see the rig covered in mud. Thankfully, crews got out in time. And check out this video from a viewer in the Pinyon Valley neighborhood of Colorado Springs. Her whole backyard covered in about 6 inches of rain and hail. She says a storm drain overflowed behind her property, causing the water to flow through the fence.
8 hours of work cleaning up the yard and the walkway. It ripped up all the rocks. And that's mostly it. So probably 8 to 10 hours of yard work will fix it.
Now you're looking at the aftermath, but the worst isn't over. Neighbors also had problems with flooded backyards. The storm drains that overflowed were covered with bags full of rocks to prevent debris from clogging them. New at 10, a mudslide has closed a popular road between Canyon City and Cripple Creek. Shelf Road is closed between the two communities. Mud is covering the road.